I welcome you to this lesson. I'm teacher Katimbo Richard, teaching mathematics. In the first session of our term 3 work, I introduced a topic called money. So do we continue with the same? And when you watch this lesson successfully, you will be able to answer all the questions from page 10 all the way to 14 of our term 2. Actually term 3 workbook. So ensure you go or you come to school and get yourself a copy, that is if you don't have it, so that you easily follow the teacher, that is teacher Katimbo before you now, and then you will be a successful P4 member. Now term 3 it is. So we are looking at the shopping bill. The shopping bill, you've all along been sent to buy items, then you come back crying when you are cheated somewhere. So never will it happen again. When you watch this lesson, let then you be careful, therefore, and answer accordingly, and thereafter practice the counting and the transactions as well. So we shall have these examples which will aid answering all the activities of the said pages, that is 10 all the way to 14 of our term 3 workbook. And example number 1 reads, Tom went to the market and bought the following items. Here they are. We've got items as sugar, salt, and soap. Then we've got quantity, unit cost, and total. So it is tabulated, meaning it's in table form. We can then see an item is that particular commodity one has chosen to buy here, and then quantity is how much or how many kilograms or boxes or packets or liters one has chosen to buy. Unit cost is the cost per that unit, like this unit is kilogram, so we've got cost of 1 kilogram, here cost of 1 box, cost of 1 packet, if they are liters, cost of 1 liter, that's what's called a unit cost. Then the total here or amount is that amount one pays for that particular item, like sugar. It is fully given as 9,000. So in most cases, the first one is fully given without a gap. Here it means this man, Tom, bought 3 kilograms of sugar, each at 3,000 shillings, thereby paying 9,000 shillings. How does then one reach the 9,000? One reaches the 9,000 when one multiplies the 3 by 3,000. So 3 times 3 is a 9 and then 3 zeros. So that is a 9,000 shilling payment for the item sugar, because he bought 3 kilograms of the same sugar each at 3,000 shillings. So thereby paying 9,000 shillings. So now we have got other gaps here. A gap for the total, also called amount, a gap for unit cost, and a gap for this item milk, which is quantity. Now, you must note that we majorly use 2 operations of multiplication and division. If total expenditure is part of the table, then it's only one found by addition, like the word total expenditure suggests. But here, now it's not here, we're using only 2 operations of multiplication and division. The question is, when does one multiply and when does one divide? Now the answer is derived from the teacher right now. We only, one only multiplies only if one is missing the amount here, that is the total here. So this amount is got by multiplying the quantity and unit cost. Quantity times the unit cost, you get the amount. Then the rest of the 2, that's quantity and unit cost. If they are missing, they are got by division. For example, here, so is unit cost missing, you get the amount divided by the quantity. Amount divided by the quantity, you get the unit cost. Likewise, you look at the quantity for milk. How does one get a quantity? By division of the amount and the unit cost. So amount divided by unit cost, you get quantity. So we only multiply if this last gap is the one missing, like you see in case of salt. Now, do we do the needful as required? So they are saying come with the table, meaning the table has got gaps. You are supposed to compute and then fill in accordingly. And you must be accurate in your endeavors. So of course, salt which bears the first gap, which is under the total or under the amount. So we go salt. I say this amount, the last gap that is found by multiplication of quantity and unit cost. So do we multiply 1,500 shillings times 2. 2 times 0 is 0, 2 times 0 is 0. You get 2 times 5 is a 10. Write 0 remove 1. 2 times 1 is a 2 plus 1 you get 3. Thereby paying 3,000 shillings. Tom paid 3,000 shillings for the salt alone. Remember being asked to come to the table is still incomplete. Whatever you compute, you fill it in. So do you write out 3,000 carefully here? And so you have completed that gap. And then go to soap. Soap has a gap at the unit cost. So therefore, we say unit cost found by division of the amount and quantity. So do we divide, right? Soap, and since we need it in shillings, so do we write here shillings and weight. And now start. So that is 7,200 shillings divided by 4. So by writing out of 4, this out of means divide by. So do we divide? Please, tables at work. You must know the tables. If you don't, then you are better known because they govern mathematics. So we divide by 4. 4 divided by 4 once. 7. Look at one thing. 7 divided by 4 is 1 or 1 4. What remains? 3. So 3 is pushed to this 2. So that you have got 32 now. Divide 32. Divide 32 by 4. How many times does 32 go into 4? Otherwise, 4 times what? To get 32. Good. 8. So we fill 8 here. What is 4 times 8? 32. So there's no remainder this time. So we have got zeros remaining. So 0 divided by 4 is just a mere 0. So write a 0 and another 0. So divided by 4 get a 0. So each box of soap costs 1,800 shillings. So that you write here 1,800 shillings. Don't forget to come to the table. Don't leave gaps here. Yet you have found their equivalent. So you fill in 1,800 shillings as the cost of every box of soap. And now that bought 4 boxes, thereby paying 7,200 shillings for all. And now the last gap within the table is that of quantity of milk. Quantity of milk. And I said quantity gap is found by division also of the amount divided by the unit cost. So do we divide by the number of packets of milk this man, Tom, bought? So we go 4,200 divided by 1,300. So answer the packets. So do we cancel? Whenever you cancel the zeros, you actually divide by 10. So don't be surprised to hear me say by 10 when you see zeros go. So we say by 10 by 10, by 10 by 10. And now I've got 13 and 42. 13 and 42. So how many times does 13 go into 42? Let us see. 13 times 3. 13 times 3 and see. 13 times 3. So let's see. 3 times 3 is a 9. And here we've got 3 times 1 is a 3. So here I've got 39. So meaning there's a remainder. So the packets are fully 3. So this one missed something in terms of this number. So we can have another. So let's have this to be 700, so that we get a number divisible. At our level, we don't need to have remainders, so we can now divide by 700 so that we don't get a remainder. At our level, had it been 6, 7, we would go remainders, but now we go divided by 700. Divided by 700, 0, 0, 0, 0, and then divide. 7 divided by 7 once, and then 42 divided by 7, we get 6. Why? 6 times 7 is 42. So that we have got 7 packets instead of 3. So right here 7, and then fill in 7 packets. 6 packets. 6 packets. They are not 7, they are 6. So 6 packets. So 6 times 700, you get 4,200 shillings. So at our level before, we don't need the remainders. So go 6 times 700 to get 4,200 shillings. So we divide the amount by unit cost to get the quantity. So how many packets of milk were bought? 6 packets. Each at 700 shillings, thereby paying 4,200 shillings for the same item, milk. So in so doing, you will have fully completed the table. And now we go to part B. Part B reads, calculate the change if Tom went with 50,000 shillings to the shop. So before buying an item, he had his 50,000 shillings. Therefore, what we do is to total up the expenses here. So, for total expenditure, we total up the expenses. What's the expense on sugar? 9,000 shillings. The expense on salt is 3,000 shillings. The expense on soap was 7,200 shillings. Then that of milk was 4,200 shillings. So what do we add? 9,000 shillings plus 3,000 shillings, then 7,200 shillings, then at last plus 4,200 shillings. So do we add? So 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 gets 0. In this line you have 0, so 0. 0 plus 0 plus 2 plus 2, you get a 4. 9 plus 3, you get a 12. You get a 12. Then that 12, I was saying 9 plus 3, you get a 12. 12 plus 7, we get 19 plus 4, you get 23. So thereby paying 23,400 shillings for all the items. For all the 4 items of sugar, salt, soap, and milk. Remember, we went with 50,000 shillings. The question is calculate the change. Change means that amount of money one goes back home with after spending some on particular items, like this Tom spent on those 4 items of sugar, salt, soap, and milk. So thereby spending a total of 23,000 shillings. So 23,400 shillings off the other amount, 50,000 shillings he had at the beginning before spending. So you get the change now through subtraction. You get 50,000 shillings he had at the beginning minus what he has spent altogether, which is 23,400 shillings. And then start your subtraction. The minus sign is very important, just like the plus sign here in total expenditure is. So we go 0 plus 0 is a 0. Sorry, we are subtracting 0 minus 0 is a 0. 0 minus 0 is a 0. 0 minus 4 is possible after borrowing. We cannot borrow from nothing. We borrow from the 5. And remember, we're dealing with base 10, so whatever we borrow is equivalent to 10. So we borrow 1 from 5 and remain with 4. And which one borrowed I say is equal to 10. 10 plus 0, you get a 10. Then you borrow again from this 10 and remain with 9. Then that 10 plus 0, you get a 10. Now you solve normally. We've got 10 minus 4 is a 6. 9 minus 3 is a 6. And 4 minus 2 is a 2. Thereby going home with 26,600 shillings, which will be used sometime later, but not that time. when to buy this for. So that is 26,600 shillings was taken home without use, so it will be used to do other things or to buy other things apart from those four. So that's the change, the amount of money one goes back home with after spending some on to particular items. So it's got by subtraction of what one had at the beginning and what one has spent in total. That term does change. It's called change, and no one will lack if one did what I've done, as we look at some other issue. So today we again, after looking at the shopping bill, we are looking at profit and loss. Profit and loss. Profit and loss. You have heard about profit. Someone says at a loss. You don't know why and what he's talking about. Why is he talking about that? And what is he talking about? So we've got profit and loss. Profit is the excess amount of money of the selling price over the buying price. What do I mean? When one sells a commodity at a higher amount than you bought it, that excess, that amount of money beyond the buying price, above the buying price, is called a profit. For example, one can buy a geometry set at 1,000 shillings. Then he sells it to a neighbor who doesn't have at 1,500 shillings. The other added 500 is called a profit. Is called a profit. So it's got by subtracting the selling price and the buying price. So profit equals selling price minus the buying price. The opposite of profit is called a loss. A loss comes into existence when one sells a particular item on a higher or at a higher amount, at a less amount than one bought it. For example, if one bought a book, for example, book at 2,000 shillings and then sold it to a neighbor at 1,700 shillings, the selling price being less than the buying price, then somebody has made a loss. So this time the buying price is higher than the selling price. He bought a book at 2,000 shillings and sold it at 1,700 shillings only. So he's losing the 300. You sell 2,000 and 1,700. That 300 shilling money is the one termed as a loss. So loss equals buying price minus selling price. So learn these two formulae, so note them. So profit equals selling price minus buying price, because then selling price is higher. Then look at the loss. Loss is equal to buying price minus selling price, because in this scenario, the buying price is higher than the selling price. So that is it. Now look at the examples which we use to find the two, or any of the two, profit or loss, depending on the number that will have been brought to you. So example number one within the profit and loss says or reads, Shadia bought a hen for 7,000 shillings and later sold it for 9,000 shillings. You see, the buying price was 7,000 shillings, and now the selling price was that 9,000 shillings. You see, this person must be getting a profit. So it's the one that's being asked what was her profit. So use that formula here, that is profit equals selling price minus buying price. So you subtract, the buying price was 9,000, the selling price was 9,000 shillings, then the buying price was 7,000 shillings. So do we subtract them? 0 minus 0 is 0, and these zeros as well. Then 9 minus 7 we get a 2. So answer in shillings. So this Shadia got a 2,000 shilling profit. That's the way we answer. What about if one made a loss, but this one is still talking about a profit? Let's see. Rebecca bought a tin of tomatoes. A tin of tomatoes. So a tin of tomatoes. Actually tomato sauce, not tomatoes. So a tin of tomato sauce for 5,000 shillings. A tin of tomato sauce for 5,000 shillings. Just tomato sauce. Good. He sold it for 7,500 shillings. What was his profit? So it's also emphatic on the same number. So selling it at a higher amount than you bought it, thereby getting a profit. So you do the same like we did in number 1. That profit is called selling price minus buying price. That is 7,500 shillings minus 5,000 shillings. Do subtract vertically 0 minus 0 to 0. So are those 2 zeros? Then 5 minus 0 you get a 5. Then 7 minus 5 you get a 2. So you got a profit of 2,500 shillings. After buying the tomato sauce tin at 5,000 shillings and selling it at 7,500 shillings. So that's how we answer. So it was just emphasizing the same number. Please, on sight of that, please do as required. We said therefore 2,500 shillings was this remader's profit. As we look at the third example, this time round, is talking about a loss. Let's see what happens if one got a loss. So Mukasa bought a textbook for 7,000 shillings and later sold it for 5,500 shillings. Just see, he bought it at 7,000 shillings, then sold it at a lesser amount. Imagine, everyone aims at profit making. Please, this kind of sale is not recommended. I recommend these two. That is where one buys at a less amount and sells at a high amount. That is the normal business. This is abnormal. So he bought it at 7,000, thereby selling it at 5,500 shillings. Oh, sorry, Mukasa. So find his loss. I wish he cared about what the teacher taught him. These are the people that are ever absent-minded in class. Please, if you are in class, don't be absent-minded. Follow the teacher. We normally buy at a low amount and sell at a high amount. That's prosperity of business. If your business to prosper, you buy a less amount and sell at a high amount, thereby getting a profit. But this one bought highly and sold at a less amount, thereby getting a loss. He must not never attended my class. Whoever attends my class sells highly, higher than he bought to get a profit. But this one got a loss. Now find his loss. We are finding Mukasa's loss, imagine. So ensure you viewer, you are not at a loss. Start. Loss equals buying price minus selling price. Loss equals buying price minus selling price. This time round, the buying price is higher. That's why it's the one we subtract from. So the buying price was 7,000 shillings. So you write first. Then sold it at that 5,500 shilling kind of selling price. So we subtract that same amount. Please align then the place values of ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. In that line, you'll be able to subtract normally. Don't forget the minus sign of subtraction. For we shall not know what you are doing. Now, what are we doing? Oh, we are subtracting. So we say 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. And this is a 0 minus 5, which is possibly done after borrowing 1 from 7 remaining with 6, which 1 has got a weight of 10. 10 plus 0 get a 10, then minus 5 get a 5. We remain with the 6 when we borrowed from 7. So 6 minus 5 get a 1, thereby losing. Imagine Mukasa, which he followed. So he lost 1,500 shillings of his 7,000. Imagine. So he sold. So he sold a loss, which loss must not be got by you, my learner. So that is 1,500 shillings. Then finally, we shall have number 4. That's the last example for this lesson. And so does it read? It's about John. John bought a shirt for 12,000 shillings and later sold it for, imagine, 9,500 shillings. I thought John was clever. John bought a shirt at 12,000 shillings and later sold it for 9,500 shillings. Just see, compare the two. The buying price is higher than the selling price. This John doesn't care. I wish he cared about what teacher was teaching, but now he sold at a loss. That's why the question says calculate his loss. We do like Mukasa's problems. So we start. Loss equals buying price minus selling price. He bought that same shirt at 12,000 shillings, thereby selling it at 9,500 shillings. Then he cut the loss. Imagine. So you get 12,000 shillings minus 9,500 shillings. So do you start back like you have done in the case of Mukasa? So it says 0 minus 0 is a 0, 0 minus 0 is a 0, and then still borrow because 0 minus 5 is only possible after borrowing. A 1 from 2 remaining with a 1, and which 1 carries a 10, a 10 plus 0 get a 10. 10 minus 5 get a 5, and here we've got a 1 minus 9 also. It needs help. So we don't pick by this 1, it remains with a 0, then bring it as a 10 onto 1. 10 plus 1 get an 11. 11 minus 9 get 2. Remember, I told you not to write a 0, starting the figure, so therefore this John lost worse than Kasa. That's 2,500 shillings. So that's how we find a profit and loss. I told you, in case you understand this lesson properly, you'll be able to answer all the questions from page 10 all the way page 14 of our book P4 term 3. If you don't have a copy yet, please rush to school as talk lasts. That is, and this is Teacher Katimbo that has taught you all that much. For more information about the same or mathematics in general, please do reach this Teacher Katimbo on these two numbers: 10776 251 that's MTN line. Then Airtel is 07572330666. So that is the end of this lesson. Please stay safe.